Once and for all, let's be honest with ourselves. The West, despite its economic strength, military alliances, and soft power influence, has neither succeeded nor been able to succeed in defeating Iran. This is not for lack of effort. Decades of sanctions, assassinations, cyber attacks, military confrontations, diplomatic isolation, everything has been attempted. Yet, Iran remains resilient, defiant, vocal and unyielding. On what grounds, you may ask? Well, because Iran is more than just a nation. It is a civilization that has endured for over 2,500 years. It possesses a soul too ancient to be subdued and a memory too sharp to forget humiliation. Iran's national pride does not stem from Hollywood movies or international trade. It is rooted in a history that predates most modern countries. While the West plays checkers, Iran engages in a more complex, strategic game of chess, using allied organizations in Lebanon as well as armed groups in Iraq and Yemen. Iran does not fight on its own soil openly, but operates in the shadows. Bombing a base does not kill an ideology, nor can sanctions eradicate a belief system rooted in martyrdom and resistance. Even economically, Iran has adapted, building local infrastructure, turning eastward toward China and Russia, bleeding but never breaking under sanctions. The West's strategy of isolation has been met with Iran's resilience and adaptation. We must also consider the strategic importance of the Strait of Hormuz, where a single mistake could disrupt global oil supplies. Engaging Iran militarily over such a delicate and precarious juncture would be a perilous and ill-advised course of action. Perhaps Iran's most underestimated asset is its people. Despite protests or political disagreements, nothing unites Iranians more than foreign interference. Every effort to compel Iran into submission proves futile. With each drone strike, a proxy missile rises anew. For every sanction imposed, a cunning workaround is found, and with every threat issued, a steadfast vow of resistance is reaffirmed. This is not merely about nuclear weapons or regional influence. It is about the nation that Western powers cannot understand, predict, or control. Iran has made it clear. It will neither bow nor break nor be subdued on the terms of others. Within the vast landscape of global influence, Iran's enduring resilience is a truth the West often conceals out of apprehension. Its true strength stems from a rich heritage, not a modern invention born of colonial treaties or external meddling. Iran is a nation forged by a civilization that has withstood invasions, dynastic upheavals, revolutionary tides, and the rise and fall of mighty empires long before Western dominance took hold. When we talk about Iran, we are referring to the successor of the Persian Empire, one of the most influential civilizations in history. From Cyrus the Great to the Safavid dynasty, the Persian legacy is ingrained in the Iranian identity. This is not merely nostalgia. It is a living, breathing source of pride that fuels Iran's defiance today. It is reflected in education, literature, culture, architecture, art, and language, elements that shape the national consciousness and influence Iran's stance toward foreign powers. For Iranians, being Iranian is more than a nationality. It is a badge of cultural inheritance rooted in ancient glory. This deeply embedded identity explains why efforts to weaken Iran often fail. You are not confronting a fragile state with borders drawn by colonial powers. You are challenging a society that believes it has survived Alexander the Great, the Mongols, the Ottomans, and the British Empire. Western rhetoric often fails to sway the Iranian public because they do not see the West as a force of progress or freedom. Instead, they view it as another aggressor that underestimates their resilience. This deep historical consciousness transforms international resilience when Iran faces external threats. The West fears Iran not simply because of its current strength, but because it embodies a civilization that refuses to submit. Concepts like martyrdom and sacrifice are ingrained in Iranian culture, linking back to the historic struggles for independence and sovereignty. When Iran is pressured externally, national unity often strengthens. Iranians see these challenges as a continuation of their long history of resisting foreign domination. From Mossadegh's era to the Iran-Iraq War, when the world supported Saddam Hussein while Iran endured alone. These events are not just historical episodes. They are lessons etched into the national psyche, reminding Iranians that their independence has a price worth paying. What makes Iran particularly resistant to defeat is that its people do not see themselves as part of a Western-dominated global system. They believe their history predates Western ascendancy and will continue beyond its decline. This sense of continuity fosters confidence, sometimes bordering on arrogance, but always rooted in determination. This pride is not an illusion. It is reinforced by Iran's ability to navigate modern challenges. Leaders like Ayatollah Khamenei speak of resistance because it is ingrained in Iran's culture for millennia, not because they are inventing a new ideology. The world may change, alliances may shift, economies may rise and fall, but Iran's core strength lies in its sense of historical continuity. This continuity is a form of power, the conviction that their existence is not contingent on external validation. When a society believes it is part of an ancient, indomitable legacy, it becomes extremely difficult to subdue. You are not just fighting soldiers or politicians, you are confronting a historical force armed with centuries of memory and a belief in a future they see as rightfully theirs. Iran's approach to resisting Western pressure has never relied solely on military might. It has skillfully employed asymmetric warfare, turning regional influence into a form of power that extends beyond its borders without large-scale conventional battles. Iran's network of regional allies, such as Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthis in Yemen, and Iraqi military groups, acts as force multipliers, allowing Iran to influence and destabilize adversaries from a distance. These alliances are carefully cultivated based on shared ideology, common enemies, and strategic support. By embedding itself into the social, religious, and political fabric of these regions, Iran has created a deep influence that cannot be easily eradicated through military strikes alone. When Israel or the US targets Iranian-linked sites, it often inadvertently strengthens Iran's position by reinforcing the image of resistance and rallying local support. These groups are not traditional armies. They are flexible, ideologically driven, and deeply integrated into local communities. Iran provides training, funding, and support, never direct troop deployment, allowing these groups to cause strategic and technological damage to Western-aligned interests. Every strike, every sanction, every threat only underscores Iran's pervasive presence and resilience. It is a persistent force that operates across borders and influences events from the shadows, making it one of the most formidable opponents the West faces today.